Hey guys, how are you? I hope all of you are doing well, right? And yes, hello all, and a warm good evening to all the people living in other parts of India other than Bangalore, because in Bangalore it's a very chill weather happening. And yes, it's a beautiful Sunday again. And yes, we're meeting again at sharp at 7 o'clock on Sunday. I hope all of you are really excited for today's session as well on geometry. And more or less, most of you love geometry, right? I hope it's true for all the cases sitting there on the other side of the camera. So I welcome all of you to today's webinar on how to simplify and solve geometry to score 100 marks, to be like, to do geometry like a topper, right? Yes, geometry is something very easy. Everybody should understand that first, because everything's already given. The image is given, and all the data is already given to you in the question, and only what you have to do is just put a little sharp brain of yours and solve it, right? So before actually jumping on to the whole topic again, so let me first introduce myself. Okay, you should be knowing the person who is this sitting in front of you, explaining you geometry, right? So yeah, I am Haripriya, and I've done my master's in mathematics, and I am a master teacher at Vedantu. And in my 4 years of teaching experience, I have tutored and mentored thousands of beautiful students like you, and I'm still doing it, and I love doing it. Right? So today's topic is all about geometry, right? So, and these are the shapes, as you can see, these are the few shapes that come to our mind when somebody says geometry, right? It can be a triangle, it can be a rectangle, it can be a square, cuboid, circle, frustum. We have sphere, we have oval, we have lots of any, like you make any random polygon, more than four sides. You can make anything like that. If you just draw a shape, it's actually a geometry. Like you draw a shape like this. Yes, it's a geometry. It has one, two, three, four, five sides, right? Similarly, so you can build a lot of shapes like that. It can be a circle, it can be a oval, it can be anything, right? So whenever I say geometry, this is the first thing that comes to your mind. And what is the other thing that comes to your mind when I say geometry? Yes, it is angles. Well, what is angles? What can you say about angles? Everybody know, okay, this is angle A, this is angle B. Everybody knows. But if I ask you, what is the definition that you can give me of angles? So what is the exact definition do you think is of angles, right? So just see, look at the question, look at the image there. So we say that this space between these two intersecting lines is the angle that we talk about, right? We say that is angle A, angle B, depending upon the name we are giving, right? So we say this is the angle. So what exactly can we define? How exactly can we define an angle? Okay, we can say that it is the space between the two intersecting lines. Okay, or we can also say that it is a surface at which the points close down to each other, points meet each other, where they intersect each other. This is the point they intersect each other. These are the two lines A. Okay, these are the two lines, line 1 and line 2. These two lines are intersecting at this point here, and this makes an angle, right? This angle is called angle A, and that space between the two intersecting lines is called an angle. Clear? So I guess more or less you people know about an angle, but the proper definition, if somebody asks you, you have to give this definition. Cool. So now let's see what are the two lines I'm talking about, and what is the point of intersection that I was telling you in the previous slide. Yeah. So this, let's go back there. Yeah. So this, what are these two lines, and do they even have a name, or what is this point of intersection? What is that called if it has a name and all, right? So these two lines which which intersect at a point are called arms of the angle, right? Arms are nothing but hands of the angle. Without them, there's no angle. There's no angle. These are the two lines, suppose. Now there's nothing, there are no two lines, so what is it? There's no angle forming here, right? Exactly. Without the arms of the angle, we cannot form an angle. Cool. So these are called the arms of the angle, and the space between them is called the angle itself. And what is this point of intersection? This point of intersection is called as vertex. Okay, this point of intersection is here called as vertex. So now we all know what is the angles, what are the arms of the angles, and what is the point at which they meet. Cool. Vertex and arms of the angles and angles. Clear? Now let's step to a further level, and let's know what are the types of angles that we have. Okay, what are the different types of angle that exist here? right? Let's learn that. Okay, just a minute. Yeah, so now we are going to learn the different types of angles. So as you can all see, there are 6 different types of angles, and whatever angles you take, okay, you name any angle you want, any angle that you know of, it will obviously fall in the same, in one of these 6 categories that you can see. Cool. So let's start off with the first one. The first one which we can see here is an acute angle triangle, acute angle. That's it. Okay, let's not go into triangles. Let's make another webinar on triangles again. Yeah, so let's just stick to angles here. So what is it? What is that we have here? An acute angle triangle. Now, what is an acute angle triangle? It's a cute angle, yeah? So yeah, it's there in the name. It's a cute triangle. So what is that? Anything below 90, any angle less than 90 or below 90 degrees is called as an acute angle. Cool. So the anything less than 90. Okay, any angle, for suppose 30 degrees or 15 degrees, or any angle for suppose like 23 degrees, every angle, any number less than 90 forming an angle is called as an acute angle. Now what is a right angle triangle? Right angle is something, very straight and perpendicular. You can see this angle, the sharp square, when it's formed, it is called as a right angle triangle, and the angle is equals to 90 degrees, exactly equals to 90 degrees, not even an inch greater or an inch lower than the 90 degrees. It's exactly 90 degrees. It's just straight. It's straight and forms a right angle triangle. It's like this. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, let's do this. So yeah, this is a right angle triangle. There's a square forming, right? A small square. Yeah, so that's a right angle triangle. Right, now we know about acute angle triangle. Now we about right angle triangle. Let's see an obtuse angle triangle. Yes, this is everybody's favorite. So what is obtuse angle triangle? It is something which is greater than 90 degrees, but it has one more condition, that it has to be less than 180 degrees. Yeah, it has to be greater than 90 degrees and less than 180 degrees, guys. These are the two conditions that I'll have to put for obtuse angle triangle. It is not only something greater than 90. It can be greater than 90, matlab it can be greater than 180 also. That for obtuse angle, it has to be greater than 90, but strictly less than 180. Cool. That is all about obtuse angle triangle. Next, what do we have? Next thing we have is a straight angle triangle. Straight angle, right? It's a straight angle. It's just sleeping all the time, right? So this is a line, and this whole angle is equals to 180. It is exactly equals to 180. Then it is called as a straight angle. Okay, it's exactly equals to 180, not an inch more, not an inch less. Again, it's exactly equals to 180 degrees. Cool, that is called as a straight angle. Now next we have is a reflex angle. Now when you compare obtuse angle and reflex angle, now you'll know that why we have put this condition that it has to be less than 180. We put that condition because in reflex angle, it has to be strictly greater than 180 degrees. Okay, so in obtuse angle triangle, if you don't put this condition, call it has to be less than 180 degrees, it will become a reflex angle. So there will be no difference between an obtuse angle and a reflex angle. So to get this difference, what we do, we put an extra condition for obtuse angle saying that it has to be less than 180 also. So what do you mean by reflex angle? Reflex angle is something which is greater than 180. Cool. So now we know about what is a reflex angle, what is an obtuse angle, what's a straight angle, what's a right angle, what's an acute angle. Okay, it's an acute angle. So yeah, so next we have a full rotation angle. In full rotation, you can see one full circle here, right? This where we are starting, we are ending at the same point. Whenever we are starting at one point and ending at the same point, it is equals to 360 degrees, and it is called as a full rotation angle, where we have one full rotation. Now these are the few types of angles that we can see, and if you name any angle, you take any number, it will fall in one of these 6 types of angles only. There's nothing more than these 6 angles sitting here. Next we have what is supplementary angles. Like everybody must have heard about supplementary, complementary angles, linear pair, vertically opposite and all, right? So don't worry, let's all clear that confusion in today's session. I'll tell you in detail about every angle that you have ever heard of. Okay, so yeah, so next what do we have? We have supplementary angle. Okay, let me change the color of the pen because I'm really bored with the black color. So let me use blue for the change. Yeah. So yeah, next we have supplementary angle. So what do we know about supplementary angle? So supplementary angle is basically if you add two angles, okay, to know that it's a supplementary angle or not, you need two angles. It cannot happen with one angle. You guys always remember, it cannot happen with one angle. You need two angles to prove them they are supplement to each other or they are supplementary angles. Okay, we always need two different angles. Now let's see what are supplementary angles. What is the condition that we have put on supplementary angles? Because every angle that we know of always has a condition. Yes or no? We have known about six different angles in this particular slide, and every angle has a condition. One is greater than 90, one is equal to 90, one is less than 90, but one is less than 90, one is greater than 90 plus less than 180, one is greater than 180, one is equal to 360. Yes, there's like lots that you have to remember, but it's very easy. Don't forget. That's not a big deal again. So yeah, now let's see what is exactly is a supplementary angle, right? In supplementary angle, the condition we are going to use it, if you take two angles again, and if we multiply them, if we add them, if we add the two angles sitting here, yes, the two angles sitting here is 140 and 40. And if you're adding these two angles, it has to be equals to 180. And if you add two angles and they are equals to 180, it is called as a supplementary angles. They are called supplementary angles. That means they supplement each other. So if I say 140 and some other angle x are supplementary angles. Okay, if I already give you the condition that they are already supplementary angles, and if I ask you to find the x, what should you do? You should subtract 140 from 180. And why do you have to subtract 140 from 180? Because I told you they are supplementary angles. Okay, so we know that 140 plus that angle x that we don't know of is equals to 180. So x equals to 180 minus 140. Okay, so whenever I give you one angle and say the other angle, two angles are supplementary, find the other angle, you just have to add them and equal to 180 and shift the known angle to the other side. Basically, you're doing 180 minus the known angle. Clear? This is about supplementary angles. Now let's talk about complementary angles. Okay, supplementary angles that they supplement each other, and if you add them up, it will be equal to 180. Now let's see what are complementary angles. Complementary angles are the same, more or less like supplementary angles. You have to take two angles, and if you add them, it has to be equals to 90 degrees. Cool. Supplementary S for 180 degrees, complementary for 90 degree. Okay, it has to be a 90 degree angle. When you add two angles, it has to be a 90 degree angle. As you can see in the photo, in the picture, in the image here, we have taken 6 and 30. We have taken 60 and 30, right? And if when you added them, you're getting up 90 degrees. Aren't you not getting? If you're adding them up, you're getting 90 degrees. So that means if you're taking two angles and adding them, and they are equals to 180 degrees, so we say that angle 60 and angle 30 are complementary angles. They complement each other. Cool. So whenever I say 60 and some other angle x are complementary angles, that means immediately blindly you just have to write that it is equals to 90 degrees. So what is x here? 90 minus 60, that is equals to 30 degrees. So that's how you find the complementary angle. Cool. So now we learned about supplementary angle, we learned about complementary angle. So only that is what we have, or do we have more? If you think we have more, pause the video and write it in the comment section if you know any angle more than this. Right? So now let's move on and let's learn one more type of an angle, that's called linear pair of angles. So in this word pair, matlab kya hai? Whenever we use a word pair, it means two, right? Two angles are involved in here, right? So linear pair of angles, and linear means a straight line. Always in maths, linear is a straight line, right? So linear equation, maybe you've heard of linear equation. So what is a linear equation? It is nothing but the equation we have in a straight line, right? The equation of a straight line. So what do you mean by linear pair of angles? In linear pair of angles, it is nothing but two angles are said to be linear if they are adjacent angles. That means they are side by side, they are neighbors, adjacent to each other, sitting next to each other, formed by intersecting the lines. Okay, when it is formed by intersecting a line, two lines. What are the two lines? Suppose this is one line and this is one more line. Clear? These are the two lines which we have. So there's one angle sitting here and one angle sitting here. These are neighbors, angle 1 and angle 2. Right? So this angle 1 and angle 2 are called linear pair of angles because they are adjacent angles and they are formed by intersection of two lines. Okay, these are the two conditions that you have to use for linear pair of angles. That is, it is formed by intersecting the lines and it is formed by adjacent angles. There are two angles which are next to each other. It shouldn't be that one angle is sitting in Delhi, the other angle is sitting in Hyderabad. No, it has to be adjacent cities. It has to be next to each other. Like how two states are next to each other. Yeah, it has to be adjacent. They have to be neighbors. Remember, that has to be in linear pair of angles. Now let's see what else do we have in linear pair of angles. In linear pair of angles, one more thing you have to remember is if you add up the two angles, okay, this is A and this is C. Cool. If you add these two angles, it has to be equals to 180 degrees. So we have angle 1 here and angle 2 sitting here, right? So if you add angle 1 plus angle 2, it has to be equals to 180 degrees. Guys, this is all about linear pair of angles. Okay, if you add up, it is more or less like supplementary angles again. But the major difference what we have in supplementary angles and linear pair of angles here is that the angles have to be adjacent, sitting next to each other. They have to be neighbors. Cool, this is all about linear pair of angles. So there is one question for all of you here. Pause the video, take this question and write down your answers in the comment section below. Put it in the chat box, put it in the comment section and I'll check your answers. So the question is, if three or more points lie on the same line, what are they called? Cool, this is the first question. And the second question that you have here is, an angle is formed when two endpoints originate at the same point. Is it true or false? An angle is formed when two endpoints originate at the same point. Is it true or false? And the next question, and the before question I'm going to show you again, three or more points that are in the same line, they are said to be collinear. Right? And second one is, angles are formed when the endpoints of two, it originated from the endpoint of two lines. This is the second question. And this is one tricky question that I've asked you. Let me move my screen from here to here. So yeah, so this is a question. You have to find the angle between the minute hand and the hour hand when the clock ticks at 4:30. Okay, you have to tell me and you reach out me at this point. Okay, mail me your answer and tell me how you did it. Tell me how you did it and reach me out at this mail ID. You can mail me your answers, take a photo, attach it and then send me a mail. I'll check your mails and reply you back. So basically you can reach me out at yadharth.haripriya@vedantu.com. So everybody solve this, take a screenshot of this, take a photo of this or write down somewhere and tell me the answer, mail me the answer here. Cool. So yeah, let's move on again and let's learn one more kind of an angle called vertically opposite angle. You must be thinking, ma'am, ये तो never ending process है. This is like a never ending process that I'm going to see. Like you keep on giving us more and more angles. Trust me guys, there's a lot of angles. Once you learn about parallel lines, there's vertically opposite angles, alternative angles, and lots. Okay, we'll do one more separate webinar on what are the more or less what are the types of angles that we have in on the whole. Okay, not only when it comes to lines, when it comes to parallel lines, parallelograms, and any of that matters, right? So the next thing we are going to learn is vertically opposite angles. What are vertically opposite angles? Guys, it's already written in the name that they have opposite. That means the angles should be opposite. Okay, read the sentence here. Two vertically opposite angles are the angles opposite to each other when two lines cross or two lines intersect and they are equal. Guys, there's a theorem also on this. I'll tell you the theorem. So yeah, there are two lines which are crossing each other, right? Which are intersecting each other. So this angle is equals to this angle because they are opposite, right? And let me change the color again. Yeah. So this angle is equals to this angle. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. So angle 1 equals to angle 2, right? And angle 3 is equals to angle 4. So these are called vertically opposite angles. Let's see what kind of theorem that we have sitting here, right? So what is the theorem here? If two lines intersect, then vertically opposite angles are equal. So any two lines, if they intersect, That means the vertically opposite angles sitting there are equal. Now let's do a problem on this and see, right? So as you can all see, let me draw a clear picture of it. So this is one angle. These are the two intersecting lines, and we have to find x and y sitting next to each other, and we have 35 here, and we have 145 degrees, right? So but what do we know? These two lines are crossing each other and vertically opposite angles are equal. And what are the vertically opposite angles here? This one and this one, these two are vertically opposite angles. So angle x is nothing but 145. Clear? So we have done angle x is 145. And what else do we know? This angle sitting here and this angle are again vertically opposite angles, like they're opposite to each other. So again angle y is equals to 35. This is what we know about vertically opposite angles, and these are types of the questions that you may get in vertically opposite angles. Now let's see one more angle, one more kind where we get only one angle and we have to find the remaining all the angles, right? So the one angle which is given here is angle 1, that is equals to 65. Now you need to find 2, 3 and 4, right? So angle 1 and angle 2, when you look at it, more or less it's like this. This is angle 1 and angle 2. Sorry, angle 1, angle 2. So it is 65. You need to find what is angle 2. And how do they look? They look like linear pair of angles. They are next to each other and they are formed by intersection of lines. So what did I say? 180. Yeah, they have to be equal to 180. So what did we know? 165 plus angle 2 equals to 180. So what do we know of angle 2? It is 180 minus 165. So what is the answer that we get here? It is 15 degrees. Sorry, it's 15 degrees that we get of angle 2. Angle 2 is 15. Okay, 1 minute. There's some mistake happening here, right? Okay, 5, 7. Yeah, it is 15 degrees. It's 165 or 65. Okay, sorry, it's 65, guys. It's not 165. Yeah, it is 65. So basically, you have to do 180 minus 65. That's what I was thinking. You have to get something more, right? Yeah, 5 and then 7. It will become 7 here. 7 plus 7 minus 6 will be 1, and the 1 will remain as it is. So here we have angle 2 to be 115. Clear? So angle 1 is 65 and angle 2 is 115. Let me erase so that there will be no error here. Yeah, it's not 165. It's just 65, guys. It's just 65. Clear? So we got angle 2 and angle 1. Right now we have to find out what is angle 4. You can see that angle 2 sitting here and angle 4 sitting here are vertically opposite angles. Right? So it will be the same. Angle 4 will be again 115. Now you people calculate angle 3 and tell me what is angle 3. Again, you can reach me out on my mail or put it in the comment section. What is the value of angle 3? It's right there on the screen. So I'll give you 2 minutes again to just look at the screen. Till then, yeah, so this is it. And after this, we'll do 2 more examples and we'll end the session here. Cool. So I'll give you time. Just note this, note this whole image, note this thing down, or take a screenshot if you want. Just take a screenshot and see how does it help you. Like how can you find the angle 3? Okay. So let's move on again. So let's try few more examples to actually understand the crux of geometry here again. So in the first example, what did we say? In the first example sitting here, we have to find the angle of, so the value of y. We have to find the value of y. So what do we have? How does it look, guys? How does it look? It looks like a linear pair of angle and adjacent to each other. It need not be only 2 angles. It can be any angles originating from the same point. Remember, this is the one point that it is originating from. All the lines are originating from the same point, right? So what do we have here? 6y plus y plus 2y equals to 180. Right? Why? Because they're linear pair of angles. So 6 plus 1, 7 plus 2, 9. Right? So we have 9y equals to 180. So what is y? It has to be 180 divided by 9. So what is the angle that you have? 20. So the value of y will be 20. Isn't that very simple? The whole thing is in the figure. Everything is already given in the figure, in the question, everything. Make sure, like, just know what is given and why is it given. Okay, it's given for a reason, right? It is given for a reason. So check why is it given and where can you use it, and then look at the diagram. In geometry, writing out diagrams are very important. You have to draw the diagrams once you see the question. Only then you will understand and you will know how to go through the procedure again. If there's no diagram stick there, you'll get confused, right? If I just give you 6y, y and 2y and ask the value of y without a diagram, it's basically not possible to do. Right? So always remember, in geometry, whenever a question is given and the diagram is not given, you make sure that you write and draw the questions. Okay, you make sure that you do it on your own. If at all the question is not, if at all the diagram is not given, because in geometry, guys, it's all about diagrams. It's all about diagrams that you need to see off. Right? So let's go to the second question. Now this looks very tricky. Now how are we going to solve this thing is an issue here, right? So how are we going to solve this? Let's see here again. So what do we have? We have, write down the angles that you have. 100, 64 and 46, and there's an x that we need to find. Right? We need to find the value of this x. But what do you know? If you start at this point and if you just cross, you're coming back to the same point. So what did I say? It's a full rotation angle, right? That means if you add up all the angles sitting here, it has to be equals to 360 degrees. So if you add up all these angles, it has to be equals to 360 degrees, right? So now let's add the angles that we know of. Okay, what do we know? It's 100, 64 and 46. So if you add, what is that you get? 11 and 210. Right? So now what do we know? This 210 plus the angle that we don't know of, that is x, is equals to 360 degrees. So what is x here? It is 360 minus 210. Cool. So what is that we have? 150. So this angle here is 150 degrees. Okay, this is 150 degrees. This is how simple the whole geometry gets, guys. It's very simple, right? So there is this, Vedantu is coming up with this new program called Vedantu Young Achievers Program for class 6 to 10th. Yes, for you people, we are coming up, and that's the link that you can click on and enroll. And the classes are actually starting off from June 10th, as you can see on the screen. They've already started, but we're still enrolling, and we'll come up with a new batch if you start enrolling. So do enroll for more live interactions like this, and more quizzes we can come up, and daily sessions for every chapter that you want, and every micro doubt that you have in any of the any topic, it will be get cleared, right? So this is the link that you can click on and enroll with us. Thank you so much for watching, and you can always reach me out and send me your feedback on yadhart.haripriya@vedantu.com. I'll be waiting for your replies and the question that I've given you. Let me just show you again. You were a wonderful set of students today, and we'll meet again in the next webinar. So guys, yeah, this is my mail ID. Let me just move my screen here. Yeah, so this is my mail ID. This is the question that I've given you. Take a screenshot of this and solve it step by step and send me the answer. Send me what answer did you get. I'll be waiting for all of you guys till then. And yeah, till then, take care of yourselves. Thank you so much, and have a great week ahead, and a great Sunday, and a Sunday with a bang, with having a great dessert. Okay, then until then, goodbye. Thank you.